Okay, I don't want to forget this chicken coop and all the hard work that we did in it. So I'm just going to go through how we put it together and why, and do a little coop tour. I'm going to start from one end to the other. So this mailbox right here was the mailbox that we found in the roof of our pool house when we were re-roofing the pool house, and it was just up there, and I thought it would look super cute right next to the chicken house. And I actually have this serving a purpose. So I have a little bucket right here that can be to collect eggs or to bring compost out or anything like that. But in the mailbox, we're picking up goats today. So my goat leads and harnesses are in the truck. Those will stay in here too. But in here, I have a goat brush. I have some work gloves, some hoof trimmers for the goats, and then I have a jar of baking soda, which is for the goats, and another jar of diatomaceous earth, which can be for the goats and the chickens. That's good for deworming, and that's good to put under the chicken's wings for bugs and mites. So this is super cute, but acting as a little storage compartment. And then over here, another thing about this chicken house. We bought this as a playhouse, found it on Facebook Marketplace. I'll insert a picture of what it looked like when we bought it here. So we wanted to make it into a chicken house. To be honest, we bought it for what it would cost us to make it, but it saved us our time, and it was recycling materials because it was a structure that was already made. So we opted to do that, to let it be what it was, and to just give it a little facelift. We did try to build this reusing as many materials as we could. So like the shrubs and the flowers that you see up here and this little planter, this was all things that were along our property that we found that we wanted to rehome. So they have a perfect home here. I did get a wreath and a sign. I just kind of had to. This is inside our coop, and we've got some of the ladies here scratching around and finding some feed. These branches we just found in our woods and stripped the bark, cut to size, and stuck them up as our roosting poles. We have, this is like an old antique level that we found out in our woods. It does not work anymore, but we thought it looked really cool and we just wanted to repurpose it. This sign we found in our woods. Don't know who this is, don't know where it's from, but we thought it was crazy cool, so we hung it up in here. And then we're doing the deep litter method. I need to add more shavings down, as you can see. But they're doing a good job stirring up the pine shavings. But in here, all the windows were here. They open and have a screen, so both of them are open and we're getting cross ventilation. These front windows do not open, but I'm a-okay with that. This is the nesting boxes. This is the back side of it. I wanted to keep the structure in here so that they're used to it being here, but I will turn it around when it's time for them to start egg laying and nesting. And above it, I had to get them a cute little sign. Up here, there's this loft, and this was here when we got this playhouse. This is serving as awesome storage. So I have a whole bag of food grade DE, diatomaceous earth, up there. This is some feed that I mixed that didn't quite fit in the can that I have. This is a ginormous bag of dried mealworms. There's more shavings. This is my oyster shells. This is my chicken grit, and then a few poultry nipples in case some of them break. And then I have like a little Dollar Tree broom in here for when I need to like knock down some cobwebs and or clean out the coop. So this is our coop. They're super happy with it, and so am I. And now we'll go take a look at the run. I did want to add that I do have to duck down just a little bit to get in here because it is a playhouse for a child, but I cannot reach the top of the ceiling at all. When we got this handle was down here and the door swung inward. So what we did is we flipped the door so that the handle was higher up so that I could easily reach the handle and open the door and not have to bend down. And we flipped the door so that when you open it, it opens to the outside so that we're not pushing pine shavings on the floor every time we come in. Okay, and on the outside of the run, you can see we have some mulch. We had 6 dead trees on our property, and we asked them to chip shred the mulch and leave it with us. So we're using that in the run. But on the ground where you see it laying here, we have coated galvanized poultry netting, and it comes out 2 feet all around the whole exterior of the run to help prevent predators from digging their way in. And this door has a latch on the top and on the bottom, and that's to help any predators who would try to pry their way in from one side or another. Okay, and when you come inside, I've got a latch right here so that I can secure the door, but I'm not locked in and chicks don't get out. Hens, they're growing up now. Okay, so again, just starting from one end going to the other, we have a dust bath. This has wood ash from a bonfire that we had, native soil, diatomaceous earth, and sand. So I just got a little galvanized tub for them, and they'll use this as their dust bath. This little planter is super cute, and I just stuck it in here. It's got, you know, some greenery on the bottom. There was flowers on the top, but this is covered. This is metal roofing. And one thing that we did is we wanted to build this out of as many repurposed materials as we could, but we needed to build it to last. That way we wouldn't be like constantly having to mend it. So we wanted a metal roof. We felt like that would last the longest and be the most sturdy thing, so that's what we did. Everything is pressure treated and everything is painted with outdoor paint. That's to help it last as long as possible, and the bonus is makes it look super cute too. But coming along here, and again, we have a very thick layer of the natural wood chips everywhere. We made this gravity feeder, and it's 4-inch PVC pipe, and on the outside it's got this cap, and I mix our own chicken feed, which is right here. So in here we have whole corn, black oil sunflower seeds, whole oats. There's some split peas in there, and there's some diatomaceous earth mixed in to help them prevent worms as well. So even though they're not full grown, they can reach this. Let's see, you guys gonna show them? There you go. So they can reach their way in there just fine. But this is nice because I don't have to come out every day and refill this. This should last, even when they're full grown, at least a week, which is awesome. As you can see, I've thrown them some food scraps already. They'll help make some awesome compost out here with that. And then this is a repurposed food grade 300-gallon tote. So I only filled it halfway to start with, but I put, and I looked at the recommended amount of apple cider vinegar ratio for water for hens, and that equated to about a gallon of apple cider vinegar per 300 gallons of water. So I ended up putting like half a gallon in because I did half a tote, and then filled the other remaining parts with water. But we made this little watering system. So there's 4 different cups for them to drink out of, and they are being wonderful and showing us right now just how much they love it. But these poultry nipples are easy to clean. If junk gets up in them, this pops off really quickly. Just clean it out and it clamps back on. But there's 4 spots, and I should not have to worry about giving them fresh water for months. They will have this for a long time. And I did consult a friend of mine who's a chemist, and he said that the apple cider vinegar should help combat algae growth. So I know that I could not just fill this whole thing with water and leave it and act like that's going to be good enough for several months. That's not going to work. So that's another reason why I only filled it halfway. But he said with the amount of apple cider vinegar that I was going to put in this water, it should be acidic enough to inhibit algae growth. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to keep monitoring it, and we'll just keep an eye on it and make sure that their water's staying nice and fresh and clean. So this little ramp is something we built. As you can see, we cut a hole out right there for them to come in and out of the run, or in and out of the coop. I am not gonna put a door on there unless there's like really, really horrible snowy weather or something like that. We're just gonna leave it open. The run is hopefully totally predator proof. I mean, the roof is on here really nice and tight. And then with all the hardware cloth, we did attach everything with these washers and screws. So nothing should be able to push their way in and just, you know, pop any tacks out. It's screwed down with washers. So hopefully that'll hold. But we built the ramp out of recycled wood as well, and they're loving it. Over here we have some oyster shells. That'll be more handy when they're laying eggs, of course, but they'll get what they need. And we did sprinkle chicken grit out here in the run. So this is our coop. I love it, the hens love it, and it's given us a little bit of room to grow too. So I plan on every year or two to get 2 to 3 more chicks. That way our flock kind of consistently has the same number of egg-laying hens, productive egg-laying hens at once. Of course, in the beginning, since we started out with a small flock, we'll have more in the beginning, but we just want to keep a good cycle of healthy, productive egg-laying hens in the coop at all times. So this is our coop, and I'll show you the back where we have all of our food and water too. Okay, this is the back of the coop. This is their feed and water, and this is where I refill their feed when it needs topping off. So this cap just pops off, and then this galvanized can was actually on the property when we bought the house. The previous owners just left it. They hardly used it, but I still cleaned it out and dried it out really good. But this is the bulk of the feed. As you can see, this will last us a really long time. And then this is my fancy livestock scoop that I made from a recycled almond milk carton. So that's nice and handy, but it's all right here. And then this bucket will hold oyster shells. They're super, super heavy. So I'll just keep some back here and I can scoop some out whenever I need it. And then this is our tote, as I mentioned. Now, I don't know if you can see, that's our house up there, and there is a water spigot in the front of the house. And so I hooked up almost 200 feet of hose to fill this thing. I have thought about doing rainwater. I'm really not sure if we're going to try to get rainwater. We do have this nice metal roof. It's on a slant, and this is on a downhill slope. So all the water does run this way, and because of the slant of the roof, it would do really well if we put a gutter on the back and fed it straight into here. My only issue with that is making sure that I can capture enough debris that way it doesn't clog the watering system, and to make sure that there's not a bunch of extra stuff getting in that would make it really easy for algae to grow. So we've thought about it. We're going to look into it a little bit more. But anyway, at the end of the day, this is really nice to have. And if I did rainwater, I wouldn't know exactly how much apple cider vinegar I put in. I wouldn't know exactly how many gallons of water that came in the tote the night before if it rained. I mean, I could do pH testing, but we'll see. I would love to do that, but we just want to make sure that we do it well if we do it. So anyways, this is our coop. Super excited about it. I can't wait to sit here and look at it and see all these happy hens for many years to come and get so many good eggs from them.